Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with more election stories now. Reports from Benue State does not seem to be a peaceful exercise, as 2 persons are said to have been killed allegedly by gunmen in election-related violence in Gamjiba at Guma local council area when an attempt to burn down election materials was resisted by youth in the area. The governor, Samuel Otom, expresses disappointment over the attack and lamented what he calls the politics of intolerance in the state.
They went the entire council ward of Balom. They seized the material, shot in the air, and burnt the materials that INEC officials brought to the council headquarters. And in other parts of Way East local government too, land they are moving from polling unit to the other, going about displaying guns and so on. Because of the inadequate security men that are available, nobody has apprehended them. So we have resorted to using our youths that are around to protect the votes that are being cast. In my own local government, and in fact council ward, here in Bajimba, yesterday as I arrived, they attempted to do the same thing. They wanted to infiltrate and get into the town, knowing that we have huge population here because of the IDPs that are here. They attempted to come into the town, but somehow they saw that there were heavy presence of security men here, and of course our youths that we have mobilized to repel any attempt by anyone to come with stones against them. They decided to retreat back, and on their way back they shot a father and his son and killed, and just to scare away people. And I tell you, since yesterday people started running from that community down to the headquarters.
For more on that story, let's go live to Benue State, where our correspondent Pius Angbo is standing by with more details. Pius, can you give us the latest update coming from Benue State?
Thank you. I am standing here at the State Collation Center of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Kogi. And the set is being designed here for the final arrangement before results start arriving in the state capital for the governorship election results. I am here being joined by the resident electoral commissioner to talk to us about whatever may have changed between the last time he talked to us at the press conference. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, can you talk to us about any possible changes since the last time you spoke to us at the press conference?
Yes, the main changes now is that as it is now, the 4 ad hoc staff that were taken hostage in Taka local government have been brought back to safety. And they are already being taken to a hospital for a check in case they have any psychological or physical injury on them. That's the major change we've had so far. And in addition also, all the local government are at the local government level doing collation now. And we're hopeful that results are trickling soon into the collation center.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
By this time last 2 weeks, results from the local government were still being expected from the ward level for collation. But at this time, about 10 local governments have already started collation in their headquarters, preparatory to come to the state capital for collation for the governorship results. And we'll be here to bring you details of what has been done with regards to the peaceful conduct of the poll in Benue State. I also like to know that, of course, there were a few hitches earlier, like we said, about 4 council wards in 4 local governments were rescheduled because of the violence that greeted the outcome of preparations for the elections earlier in the day. But I can assure you that INEC has said that they are working with the security forces to give adequate security cover for the elections rescheduled.
And thanks our correspondent Pius Angbo. And it was not just in Benue State that we had pockets of violence that led to loss of lives. In Enugu State, A man believed to be a supporter of one of the candidates was shot dead, and the police says it's already investigating the circumstances that led to his death. In Kogi State, the Commissioner of Police also confirmed the death of 2 persons, while the police lost one of its men alongside a civil defense officer in Katsina State. 3 adult staff of INEC were also abducted in the state by a yet-to-be-identified person. In Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, a serving lawmaker at the Federal House of Representatives, Mr. Temitope Olatoye, has died from injuries sustained from gunshot wounds on his way from his village. The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room says it has documented at least 7 politically motivated deaths within the last 24 hours of this exercise across the country. The spokesperson of the group, Mr. Clement Wankwo, mentioned this at the presentation of an interim report of the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room in the nation's capital, Abuja, on the conduct of the exercise.
Be informed about the timing for our press briefing tomorrow's collation stage. So if you permit, I will read this statement. Situation continues to reiterate its earlier position that no election should cost the life of any Nigerian, and calls on security agencies to arrest and prosecute all election offenders, irrespective of their party affiliation. I must add that we have already received reports of 7 deaths on this election in the last 24 hours. The Situation Room is concerned that despite the high level of deployment of the security, we are still having pockets of violence. In a North local government area of the Ebonyi State, suspected thugs were reported to have set fire to election materials at the registration area centers. In the Tinan local government area of Akwa Ibom State, youth corps members were attacked by suspected thugs while voting materials were snatched and a police officer shot in Odupani local government area.
The APC leader and former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says the state has been peaceful despite pockets of violence experienced in the Okota area of Lagos State during the presidential elections. The APC chief thing says the incidents were just a little fraction and couldn't account for the large outcry that has been widely reported.
The INEC has started very well. They got materials to various local governments early enough, and they've logistically they have well prepared. Why their staff arrived late in some areas is what I cannot explain, because I'm restricted to telephone and my location. I can only take it from various levels. In terms of security, Lagos has always been ready to celebrate democracy. It's still violent free. And I take exceptions to the 2 weeks ago Okota incident. I'm very upset about that. Placing Lagos as if we were violent prone. If you have 1,325 polling units, only 5 units were affected by Okota incident. You shouldn't classify that one as a failure. That is 97-point-something%, if I'm right, mentally. And if you have to evaluate, but to you people, it's not a story. It's only the incident that will be a story. So I can't explain better than that.
Are you afraid that your party might be threatened, the stronghold of your party might be threatened in this election by the Otoge slogan?
That is a lorry now. Lagos is not Kwara now. We call Kwara. You are being in Lagos now. Let me talk to your station to transfer you to Kwara. I'll give you a no. There's a limit to copycats. Lagos should be Otope.
Governorship candidates of political parties in the 29 states participating in the elections have exercised their civic rights with the hope of a positive outcome. Although the turnout of voters were reported to be low across the states, candidates believe that the election was generally smooth. Our correspondent, Victoria Ido, reports on the candidates of the political parties across the country.
Across the country, voters choosing their governors and state assembly representatives, and many of them are doing so with the hope that those being elected will serve their interest. Here in Lagos, the three leading candidates cast their votes and gave remarks on the conduct of the exercise.
My assessment is it's gone very peaceful, it's gone very orderly. There are no issues, with our cadre that we had an earlier issue about a couple of hours ago, but it's been resolved.
When you look at other countries that are enjoying their democracies, it is because some people have said that despite the hurdles, despite the issues, they will overcome and ensure that democracy stays.
Well, the first problem is that it started a bit late. I find that really tiresome, especially after what happened at the presidential elections. One would have thought that lessons would have been learnt from that episode, but clearly they haven't.
And in the southwest state of Ogun, the three leading candidates, Mr. Adekunle Akinlade of the APM, Mr. Dapo Abiodun of the APC, and PDP's Buruji Kashamu expressed satisfaction with the general conduct of the election in spite of its initial concerns.
I believe everyone has had the opportunity to exercise their right to vote for the candidate of their choice, and I've just done mine. So as far as that's concerned, at this polling unit, everything seems to have progressed well.
We directed our people to vote one way because of exactly what we wanted to achieve to deliver Mr. President. And today we've asked them to vote wisely, and you can see that, and I have no doubt in my heart that across the state they will vote wisely.
I commend Mr. President Buhari and the member of security and the members of Highness with the good job they have done so far.
In Oyo State, the PDP governorship candidate, Mr. Seyi Makinde, has commended the electoral umpire for the good conduct of the exercise so far.
Voting is going on okay. I'm yet to get a report from other parts of the state, but I'll say so far so good.
For the south state of Akwa Ibom, the governorship candidate of the APC, after voting, alleges reported violence in some polling units, but commended the general peaceful conduct of the election.
I'm pleased with what is happening here. There's order, there's peace, there's no violence whatsoever, at least in this polling unit. In fact, I hear also that in a place like Ibiono, some APC agent has already been attacked.
Meanwhile, the various polling units in Anambra State, the incidents of voter apathy and smart card reader malfunctioning characterized the State House of Assembly election.
People thought that, there was fracas here in the last election, so many people were discouraged to come out. But when they saw that things are moving on well, many are coming out to vote.
For the two key contestants in Imo State, the exercise was impressive and they both hope for a good outcome.
So far, we're okay with the process. From the reports I've gotten from around my places, some few places, the INEC officials were in time in their polling units. So as time goes on, we'll also get some information from our information center.
I think the security agencies have done so well, fantastically so well, because you
can see people are going to cast their votes without any molestation, and INEC has conducted the exercise in a very orderly manner.
Shifting attention to the north-central state of Benue, where the APC's governorship candidate, Mr. Emmanuel Jeme, has commended the peaceful conduct of the election.
My confidence in the electoral process is arising from the fact that I truly believe that once you cast your vote, the vote will count.
All said and done, voting over. Now it's time for the votes to be counted. Now who the governor of each state will be, only time will tell. Victoria Ido, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, more reports on the election. Do stay with us.